One of my friends recommended these sword earrings, and I love it because I have two, but I don't have my other ear pierced again for some reason. I have two, but this one just likes to dangle, and I love how it just moves. Hey, girl. Hello, Taurus. How are you doing? My name is simply Valka, and I'm going to be providing your general reading for this week. I hope you're doing well. When it comes to this type of reading, when it comes to any reading on my channel actually, I always ask for people to rely on their intuition. And what I mean by this is that I like to speak in analogies. So I might process the cards and the messages in terms of a relationship, an intimate one, of a romantic sense. But for you in your situation, it may pertain to a business decision, right? So it's up to you to you know your situation best, right? I'm just a man reading some tarot cards. So take the messages that resonate and leave what doesn't, because it's not going to affect my life either way. I'm not going to take it personal, I promise you. So I'm going to be pulling 3 rows for you, Taurus. The first couple of rows are just going to be talking about the energies that you might be currently dealing with and the energy to come. And your last row is going to be what you should be working on for this coming week, Taurus. So yeah, if this message is of resonance and gives you a sense of direction, I would love for you to let me know in the comments below which card resonates with you the most and why, because I'm always nosy. But also, if this gives you a sense of direction, I'd love for you to give me a like and subscribe, because it does help out my channel so much. So yeah, let's just jump into this reading right now, because you guys, Taurus, y'all have some bold cards, and I love it. I love it, I love it. And if bold is a good thing, we'll find out. It's a good thing, I promise you. So we have the 7 of Earth, the 6 of Air, and the 8 of Fire. Now, let me just read off the cards first as I show them. For the 7 of Earth, this card says, seeds well planted, a temporary pause in action, and unnecessary worry. So a lot of you Tauruses, you may be feeling anxious right now. You may be having some anxious energy over how things are going to pan out, because the 6 of Air talks about things looking up in the end of a difficult situation, and the 8 of Fire talks about just a lot of things happening at once for you. And this is kind of telling me that delays are over as well. So for the 7 of Earth, telling me, let's address this, right? The 7 of Earth talks about like a worry of some type in your life. Worry of your foundation, right? Queen of Coins. You're worrying about, when it comes to the Queen, I would almost say this is I'm getting like the message of you're not willing to not giving credit where credit's due, but not in a sense of like you plagiarizing anything, Taurus, but more in the sense that like you aren't giving yourself credit, because the 2 of Wands, this is where it sings like you're like almost feeding into like a negative narrative of how you think something will happen, because you're not giving yourself credit. You're not giving yourself thinking about being like, hey, I've gone through a lot. Or being like, hey, like I'm smart enough I know how to maneuver through my way. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. And maybe you can argue with me. You're welcome to argue with me, Taurus, and say you have a high sense of self, but your actions don't show it. That's what these cards are telling me. Your actions aren't showing it. So you're welcome to argue with it with me, Taurus, but what do your actions show as, right? If you truly do believe in yourself, then I ask you, why do you feel like your situation isn't looking up? Or why are you not being more hopeful or optimistic? And if you are, then I'm not talking to you about it, right? Because the 6 of Air talks about things looking up, and the 8 of Fire talking about things happening at a fast pace. It's almost as if like there's a bunch happening, or things are starting to take action, and because you can't quite tell if they're the good things or not right now, you're just seeing a lot of change happening, or you're sensing changes happening or building up, and it's overwhelming you. You're overthinking it. And just, I guess what this first row is really trying to put into perspective is that like, this is like, you're in complete control of it. You're making the choice of feeding into either a negative narrative or a positive one. Which one? We're addicted to going into the negative narrative because of just, how, like, whatever, we all just like just thinking the worst because we don't like feeling disappointed, right? If we actually like challenged ourselves and we put ourselves to a standard, or if we like actually hope for things to be better, we risk that chance of failure, of that disappointment. And the 8 of Wands is telling me again where you're not giving yourself credit. because it's like these 8 of Wands, this 2 of Wands, this is all about self-empowerment and being like, hey, like, you're amazing. You're gonna, like, you're able to work through that, go through this, and make it through the end of this tunnel very easily. You're going to be able to, like, do what you're being called upon to do. You just have to believe in it. You just have to be willing to make the sacrifices and be willing to, I guess, hold yourself accountable enough, Taurus, almost, dare I say, right? Because we have the, for your second row, we have the 6 of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. I feel almost as if, for some of you, Taurus, that it's almost like, let's deep dive into this a little bit. We have 2 different cards here. 9 of Discs and the Knight of Wands. And this is Knight of Wands. This is Knight of Wands inverted. And Knight of Wands usually is kind of like the representation of the Chariot, Taurus. So what this is telling me, when it's inverted, that it's like, this is almost like your fight or flight response, where it's just like some stuff is happening and it's almost like you're planting your feet. Well, you couldn't hear me stop, but it's like you're planting your feet on the ground and you're just like frozen. And you don't want to make you don't want to make the wrong move. You feel like you're going to make the wrong move because you're doubting yourself. You feel like your natural state, your unconscious state of like how you just navigate through the world. Like you need supervision of some sort. You need someone else's approval or someone to look over your work before you submit it, sort of thing, right? That's how you carry yourself in life, or like, at least that's how your thoughts seemingly are, because it's just like, if you truly gave yourself the benefit of the doubt, you wouldn't stress about the situation. You wouldn't be planting your feet on the ground. So I challenge you. If you feel like you're not planting your feet on the ground, Taurus, own that energy. Start changing your perspective. Because the Ace of Cups, this is a beautiful card and it's upright for you, Taurus. It's a beautiful card in that, like, start having a change in perspective and start going towards something that fulfills you. But going towards something that fulfills you, you have to let go of something, right? 2 of Pentacles, you had it inverted. So this is just like the energy of where it's like you're not wanting to let go of like what you have currently. It's almost as if like this is like your trigger response, because it's like your life is starting, because so many things are happening for you right now. Your trauma response is just like, oh no, like changes has to be bad, right? Like this change, like it's just going to bring more stress, right? This is where I kind of want to point out to you, Taurus, that's like, you don't want to just stay in your comfort zone. You want to be made uncomfortable, because that's how you widen your comfort zone. So if you're being made uncomfortable, that's a good thing. Your perspective is changing. You're going to have a wider reach, a grander sense of self. Let go of what's no longer serving you anymore. It's okay. Change isn't always a bad thing. This is really what this reading is saying. That's going to be the title of this video, is change isn't always a bad thing, Taurus. You just have to be willing to bet on yourself. You have to be willing to know that you're able to withstand these changes and handle these changes with a breeze, right? Let's go into your third row. We have the 10 of Discs, right? 10 of Discs, it goes back to the foundation, and I associate discs with, I associate 10s with the completion of a cycle. So this is quite literally telling me that your current foundation, for whatever it is, this could be like an emotional foundation, this could be like for finances, some type of foundation has been shaken up, like it's being made unsteady. And I almost feel as if some of you Tauruses are not responding well to this. And I just ask you, Taurus, to have a different perspective on it. Be excited about this shift in perspective, because it means you're growing. The Fool card I pulled for you. You're really being asked, Taurus, to commit to this, to really go through this transformative process with full trust in, if not like a higher energy, just in yourself. Trust in yourself more, Taurus. Like, just, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, Taurus, but I just like, it's almost as if some of you are just not seeing your power, seeing your potential. And it's just kind of just worrisome, right? The High Priestess card I pulled for you as well. This is like a lot of intense energy. You're doubting your intuition on something. You're not seeing yourself as this high priestess. That's the problem, Taurus. You're not seeing yourself as this high priestess. And it's really directly like how your week pans out, or like how really just your whole life will pan out, is based off of what you think you can accomplish. Because it's like if you don't think you're able to like do certain things or whatever, you're going to manifest it. Like whether you can manifest positive things and you can manifest negative things. So it's like, have a shift in perspective. You see, I feel like for some of you guys in Taurus may be feeling as if like having like this pessimistic of an attitude because you just have been dealing with a tough cycle, right? I pulled the full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. Like, yeah, this is telling me that it's just like you guys have just been like going through this dark tunnel for a long time. And so when it feels like you've been walking through this dark tunnel for like seemingly forever, you can kind of get negative in the world. You can kind of just be like, oh, this tunnel is never going to end. But like Spirit's really trying to just like give you that like last push of like asking you to just like, no, just go a little further, Taurus. Go a little further, and I promise you, you're going to see the beauty at the end of this tunnel. I promise you. You know, don't trust in the fact that you are going to be able to make it through this tunnel. Even if it feels like you've been walking in this dark tunnel for a long time, I promise you that things are going to get better for you. Trust in the fact that like, as tough as it is, be able to trust that you're going to be able to make it through. Really. I guess it's the only way I can really put it. Just be willing to bet on yourself. I always say this, but it's like that's really your weak, Taurus, is just be willing to give yourself credit where credit's due. Your last card, Change. Beautiful imagery. You guys are definitely, I use this example of a dark tunnel, but you guys are just on your path right now. You're walking on your journey and you're by yourself. You're going through change. You're going into a new zone. You're going through a new environment. These changes are going to make you uncomfortable. But just like this individual, they're making it out. They're trusting themselves on this path. They're not questioning it. They're not looking back. They're just looking straight forward with determination because they know their tough cycle is coming to an end. It's already over because they know it's already over because they are able to actively walk down this new path. Some people would be begging for this opportunity for some type of change, and you're going through it right now. Because with change comes a new perspective. And with that new perspective comes new fulfillment and new endeavors and just new connect, like so much new. And I feel like you guys need that, Taurus. So yeah, that is the reading that I have for you, Taurus. I hope you allow me the opportunity to provide another reading for you again at some point. Again, if this reading did give you a sense of direction and give you some clarity, I would love for you to give me a like and subscribe. But until next time, Taurus, I love you so much. Have a good one.